Hey, Don here. Okay, I'm back with another live stream tonight, and I am going to work on this. It's my Linksys router, and I'm actually going to take it apart. See where the red tape is there. Oh, it's delayed. I was trying to hopefully make that better. It seems to be about the same as it was. But anyway, I'm not going to mess with it anymore. It just seems like a losing battle. But it says bad on that red tape because that that Ethernet port, sometimes it is still, it would work and not work and not work. So I think it's going bad or is bad or something. And I don't know if, I'm wondering if it's a hardware problem, you know, and so I'm going to take it apart and see if there's anything that looks bad in there. Actually, I already had it opened up once, but I didn't get to the bottom of the board. I had looked online to see how to take it apart because trying to figure out which way to go to make it in the picture a little better. There we go. Well, I just saw it by accident. Actually, it was a good thing because it doesn't come apart the way you think it would with screws. And this is a Linksys, let me look on here, I always forget numbers and letters, WRT54G V8, version 8. And I'll have to get it booted up and get a cable hooked up to it and get it hooked up to a computer to see for sure if it's a V8, plain V8 or V8.0, .1, that makes all the difference, because after I do that, if I don't see anything that looks obviously bad in there, which I already saw the one big cap on it and it was okay, then I'm going to try putting DD-WRT open source firmware on it and see if maybe over the years the firmware on it has, I've always wanted to do that anyway. I mean, I was using it all the time and I just really didn't want to take it out of my system, I finally took it out. Let's see. Well, I won't show that right now, but I finally took it out, and I use 3 routers all the time anyway, because all the different computers I have, it takes that many to be able to plug them all in at the same time. They're not all running at the same time, but when I put them up, I don't want to have to plug and unplug cables. Anyway, this is, I was given those numbers from this. Sorry, that was the wrong thing. That was probably music. Okay, the desktop, okay. I actually used one of my phones that I always use for cameras, and I'm using right now for cameras, and I use the Google goggles to take a picture of the sticker on the back of this thing, and I'll get it turned over in here so it'll be showing in a minute. But it actually did really well. I've had it for quite a while, about a year maybe, maybe not that long, but anyway, I don't use them, the phones themselves, I don't use them much, but I almost deleted it, and I thought, let's try it again. And it got every letter on there perfectly right, and it sent me right to all the links to it. Only problem is getting them over into the computer where I can read it, because I can't read it on those little 4-inch phone screens. So finally emailed it to myself, which is, I finally figured out how to do Control V and paste this into the email. By using, I already had it on there, but it's called Hacker's Keyboard, and it actually is a full keyboard instead of the regular Android keyboard. And it was tricky to get it to work, but it finally did work. It has a control button, and so I hit control, and you just hit it, and it lights up. And then you hit V, and then it works, but it's really hard to, tiny little things, it's hard for me to hit the letter I want to hit. Anyway, I got that in there and sent it to myself. So that's its serial numbers and everything. Now, I looked up on Google, and nothing came up on any of this. Didn't look up Made in China. Of course, I know what's up with that. But what I want to know, the main thing is, I've got all kinds of research I've done it on and off over the last 5 years or so. I think is about how long I've had this router. I got it given to me. It wasn't brand new when I got it. But here's one of my folders, the one I have on this computer. And my old computer, I went and looked through it a while ago. But I already have some firmware that I think is the right one downloaded. But I got to make sure I have the version that I think I have. But it has, there's I think what I have to do is install the Linux prep. Well, it depends. So, there's one version that has Linux firmware already on it, the others don't. And so if this is the plain 8.0, then this is what I'd want. It's the newest thing that I've found. At the time, it was actually no longer being updated. This was several 11.15 is the date of those files. So when I downloaded them, and I didn't see any new ones today. I did a little bit of searching, but first I just want to see. I can always go back and look for updated. I did do some searching and I didn't see anything new. So, but if there is anything new that comes out, I can always put that on there once I get rid of the old firmware and get the new. But you have to start with this. And then I think you do the Linux upgrade, and then you do the micro, because this one actually has a lot less RAM and flash drive memory space on it than the older versions. I didn't remember that. And there's some instructions and everything else that I have. But and here's some of the instructions. Really a lot of instructions to follow, tricky instructions. But I found a few videos I watched. Actually, the other day, it got me started on all this again, was because my main router I'm using now is a TP-Link, and it's newer. And but with all if you've seen any of this stuff on the internet, I don't know if it came on the TV or not because I don't watch TV much. A lot of stuff about the SSL being broken on the broken into on the routers easily now, even more easily than before. I already knew it could be broken into, but they found easier ways to get into it. And let's see, get on that camera. Okay, so let's see. Let's just do that. I'll do my endoscope, and let's pull it up this way where I can reach it a little better. If I can do that, okay, from sitting over here. Okay, I think it's so hot I can't hold the barrel of it. Which way does it need to go twisted? Sorry. That's the nature of this beast here. It's pretty cool, but it's also can be hard to... Okay, so let me see if I can get a little closer there. See, that's all it says on there, WRT54G V8. So it may just be an 8.0, but when you look everything up, it specifies. Now, what I was going to say was, where's that on there? Well, anyway, what they figured out they can use, what they do to make the encryption keys that are all made automatically by the routers, they use the MAC address on a lot of them, and which is printed on the bottom of most routers. I don't know if it's on this one or not. That's upside down again. Once I moved it, I got it. It might not be printed on here after all, but it's easy to find. A lot of times, well, you can't necessarily easily. Yeah, you can. I think you can easily get them. It depends. It depends on if you're pretty good at that sort of thing, then you're probably going to be able to get the MAC address through the internet. It'll probably report it back to you, back to the right software. So, but this is the front end of mine, and so anyway, it's turned out to be they can get into them now with the right software and a little, and not just a little bit of know-how, quite a bit of know-how, and get into them within a few 30 seconds, probably to a couple of 3-4 minutes. So, and that's pretty much all wireless routers. So, and it's pretty much the wireless encryption, you know, for the passwords it's able to get into. But it's the main thing. But there's lots of different routers that can be got into anyway because they have bugs in them by the people that know how, not just by anybody and everybody. Oh, it is anybody and everybody if they're willing to try to figure it out, learn about it. But I'm going to get over here and just get started taking it apart. That's the first thing I want to get it apart. Let's make sure my stream is good before I get over there and get started working. It looked good a while ago, but I want to make sure. Okay. So probably should be able to hear myself. Yep, I heard myself perfectly. Okay, so close my browser. You don't want to leave too much stuff open when the machine's working hard. And yeah, right now I'm just going to get right there on just that big camera view, and then later I got to remember to do the endoscope and all that. Show close-ups. But I've got it set up where I can just spin my chair around. Well, I could real easily if it wasn't for the fact that the wheels are about to fall off of this thing. It kept giving me trouble for a long time, and I never did really turn it over and inspect it. And one day one of the wheels fell off, and I turned it over finally and looked at it, and I was like, yeah, just as I suspected. They've wallered out the holes that they go into so badly that they're hardly staying in there anymore. They're leaning real bad. So I'm just leaving that tape on there to help me remember where the bad one is. I don't even know where I'm gonna have to I forgot to dig out the power supply for it. I think it's just laying over there somewhere. I don't think I put it away. But when I get ready to plug it in, turn it on, I'm gonna have that. But you might think that let me see if I can just hold it up there. Yeah, see those little holes in the legs? Each leg has a hole like that in it, and it looks like a little plastic thing that you would have to break out and get the screws. Well, no, there's no screws under there, and that's what I was planning on doing until I accidentally ran across a video on how to take them apart. And how you take them apart is interesting, so I thought I'd go ahead and show it. You grab them and you squeeze them just right, and it told you one of the video I saw. Well, I saw two of them finally, but the first one first time I took it apart. Let's see. Oh, I tried from that end and it wouldn't. I didn't get it. But you kind of squeeze it and pull on that leg. Now watch it be really hard to do this time. One person said to push right here in the middle, but I don't think that's where the tabs are. Really more up here where my thumbs are. There's tabs in there. You know what that makes me think? If there's tabs in there, then why wouldn't you want to just press this instead of brute forcing it? That's exactly the words they used. If there's tabs in there to be pushed, then let's push the tabs. Get something that'll go in there good. I don't know if I can do that or not. Yeah. I don't know if that'll work. That's not seeming to help. That's not how they said to do it. But I remember when I was putting it back together. It doesn't make any difference. It is truly, I mean, I've had it apart and put it back together once already. I think that's the best way to do that. Maybe it's better to turn them this way. I just want to break them. They don't screw off on this model either. But you really, I mean, that's just, you really got to put pressure on it. I might have got lucky last time I got it apart. Oh. Isn't that something? You think you broke it once you're successful, but you didn't. And I had already peeled back the warranty sticker. Of course, it wasn't in warranty when I got it. It was several years old when I got it. These have been, over the years, one of the most popular routers because they were one of the first ones, or the first one you could put open firmware on. Well, actually, I read a little bit of the story. Somebody wrote and asked for the software, and the Linksys gave it to them. And this, I believe, was before they got taken over by, bought out or taken over by Cisco. This was a Cisco one. Okay, so now that you've got it like this, it just comes off. First time I had to kind of snap it loose. And then I thought, let's see, which one's going to be the best? Yeah, there we go. I thought that this would just snap out because you can see it. You just slide it forward towards me, and then it should lift up, and it wouldn't slide. And I kept thinking, well, maybe it's hung on the bottom somehow, and maybe there's some more snaps, and it just wouldn't move at all. So I thought, well, it will move back and forth, but not together. So then I didn't see those 2 screws right there. There's 2 screws. Let's go ahead and inspect it with the endoscope first, and then where is it? There it is. It's going to be tricky to get to. I have to roll my mouse wheel. Okay, we'll just use the endoscope this time. But there's those 2 screws right there that I read and I saw in a video. Well, I didn't see anybody taking it out, but I saw. Maybe I just read that, but anyway. See if we can turn this for some of these. It sets pretty good like this. I mean, it's the board and everything. I was thinking I might be able to. I don't have the light on my deal. I don't know. Maybe it would help to turn it on. I have a light on my. I figured it'd make it worse. Let's see. I can't even really tell. Oops. It sort of helps and sort of doesn't. Depends on what you're trying, where you're shining, doesn't it? Okay, well that's a Broadcom chip right there. I thought maybe I'd be able to actually show the numbers. In order to do it, I got to look at the screen over there. Okay. And I can't see them good enough to read them. I was hoping to get the numbers so that I could look them up later. That was just figure out what's what. I'll have to go through my video to do it. Oh, there they are. That one just doesn't want to show up for me. And then these things up here, I think the light is hurting in this instance. Oops. Yep. Oh, those are turned the other way. Oh. And the reflection again. Okay. Wiring. And there's the screws again. But that cap looks good. Oh, there's another. That one doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it. This one doesn't. And I don't even know what that is. It's different looking. That's the power connector. What's this thing over here? I think that's got some numbers on the side of it. Yep. It's upside down. That's still the wrong way. It's really hard to get in there on that. Oh, I've got it upside down. Again. Seems to be that I just can't get that one right. I'm going too far, aren't I? Well, I'm looking, when I look over at it, I can't hardly, I have to look at it to see where it's aiming, and then, let's see. Okay, let me do this so that if you do get to where I get to where you can read any of it. Well, that's desktop. There. You'll see where I'm pointing on it. turn this light on again. Too much there. Now if I can just figure out which way is the right side up for the little endoscope. Is that it? There. That's upside down, isn't it? It throws me for a loop trying to figure that out. I don't know why. Oh, the numbers are on the top. Okay, so that's right setup. That's pretty weird. Okay, so I can't get any better than that. I just can't seem to do it. Now that's the reset button. And then there's another button on the front here. And I didn't know, I thought when I saw it the first time, I thought, is that the reset button? And I thought, no, it's on the back. And then I finally looked in the manual for a little bit. It's a Wi-Fi quick connect button. It's supposed to change the encryption key, actually. So that's a feature that on an old router that these new ones need, because that was one of the problems, is they changed them automatically, but only when you rebooted them. And this is one of the model numbers on the board there. And then what's this? Let's see if we can turn that light back down some. Get rid of some of those reflections. The light seems to help it focus better, but too much light is not good. And I'm going to keep working on trying to get it straight up and down this time, I don't think. Let's see. Oh, well. I just can't really. I mean, I'm too far away from turning it all the way as far to the right as I can. Oh, and here, right here, it's what they call the JTAG header. If you brick them, you can still fix them. By a lot of them, I found out, or at least the TP-Link in this one, I found out. You have to solder a serial connector to this. You can solder the pins in and then go to a regular old-fashioned serial connector on a computer or a laptop, PC or a laptop. And you can talk directly to the chip to read and write, to rewrite that firmware bin file. There's another connector here, actually. I didn't see that a while ago. I don't think that's the JTAG. Let me get JP1. Well, I'm sure there's the one with the 2 rows of pins is the right one, because I've seen several videos, and this other one I'm not sure what it would be for. It could have been for the light's too bright now. Let's see. Could have been for testing, or for something that they didn't implement on it, I would think. I'm not a electronics engineer by far, but I've been watching lots of videos, so I'm learning stuff, you know. Dave, EEV Blog, he's one of the best teachers about this stuff. The light, it's like a pointer, like a circle thing. Let's see, there we go. Yeah. And the other one is right there. Okay, so this is where the that's where the antenna wires are soldered onto the board. This is the other one. And they come up there and they're soldered straight into the back of the antennas, where they just permanently connect there. I didn't realize, I thought mine screwed off. I just didn't want to screw them off. I'm going to lay that down and go back to the other. Find the right camera again. Yeah, I haven't tried. Yeah, they don't screw off. They're snapped in, and so don't try to screw them off unless you know for sure they screwed off. If they're snapped in and those wires are hardwired in there, they're soldered in. And so, now let's get back to the next thing here that I wanted to do. I don't know if I want that. I don't think I'm going to fold those down one more time because I think it'll let me do that. Yeah. I think that'll be okay. Now, let me get me a screwdriver. Under my table I have my toolbox, so it's handy. Now these screws should just allow that board to come off like normal. They don't take much to get out. That's good. Let's see, where can I put these so I won't lose them? I guess right here would be alright. Put them over here on my desk. Normally I put them up on my white rack, but I've got my pills that I'm going to take when I go to bed up there, and I don't want to accidentally take screws. Be right there next to them. Okay, there we go. That was the only reason that didn't come off earlier. Makes sense now. Let's see, let's lay it like that. I'll just put this over here. It was surprising. It's dusty. This is looking fairly dusty, but it's warped from heat, I guess, over the years. Where is it? Yeah, you can see how... Normally I'm looking at the screen while I'm looking at what I'm holding. That does make it easier. But this is best for getting to my tools and everything. Okay, so I'm going to turn it where I can see it the best. Let's look it over first before we... Lots of discrete components, tiny little things on there. Oh, what is that? Oh, okay. The connectors snap on. So it's really not helping me any. Well, yeah, it is. The only thing I could really look for is bad solders, you know, bad solder joints. Something that had happened to them to damage them or something over the years. But here's the solder joints. Here's all the connectors for the, you know, the Cat 5 connectors, Cat 5 cable connectors, and there's the solder joints. If I can hold still, and they all look perfect. So. So, you know, that's the one thing that I could fix if that was the problem, but that's not the problem. So, see, that's too much light. Yeah. Still a little bit too much reflection. Guess it was better without it. Yeah. Still, you get reflection from the light in the room, and then you get even more when you turn that on, so that's just worse. So anyway, all the little solder joints really look good. Better than any of the newer stuff you see. They're just perfect. I'm sure they were done by machine. But they must be running the machines really fast these days, using cheap solder or something, because they don't generally look this good. There's all those little discrete components I was talking about. Here's some more tagging on there. Made in China, because it's made in China. Even China's gone down in their quality, evidently, if it was possible. Just when you thought it wasn't possible to get any worse. Ha ha ha. Okay, so that's the other side of the JTAG header, and then I don't think, yeah, there's no label. Wait, that might be some, no, those aren't labels. Those are just kind of like traces for the traces, sort of like a template for them. And I didn't, when I had it laying there the other way before, let's see. Let's turn it back around. Let's see if it says any. Yeah, it has. Turn it this way. It has all the addresses of all the. Oh, that's the more discrete components. I'm on the wrong place. There we are. So I had it the right way in the first place. Yeah, it's our. Oh, that's for those components, I think. Well, I think those. Oh, I see. There's some little components there. And the. How close can I get? I'll just stay out there, I guess. I don't know. There. R40, yeah, all 37, 38, 39, 40. And I believe that's what connects to those, some of those pins. And I can't really see the traces, so I don't know where else they go. Oh, because those are resistors, yeah. R, those are resistors. R stands for resistor. And then this is JP1. Oh, and there's pin 1 on this one, I believe. And there's a J2 down at the other end. This other one that's a single row, it has an R48 resistor, JP1, and there's an O by it, so that'd be pin 1 or pin O. And there's an O by this other one, so that'd be pin 1 or pin O. I don't know if I can show it. Does this light help? I'm using the light on my, yeah, it does help. Light on my magnifying glass. That's what I was looking at, because I can't twist my head and look. But yeah, that big white O, that's pin 1, I'm pretty sure. That, and it has a square around it instead of a circle. And so does this other one over here. So I'm sure that that's pin 1. So if you're going to do the whole, so even if I screw it up, I could still have even more fun learning experience trying to fix it. I don't know if I would. I might not have, you know, people were saying, well, I bought a cable that I could, for $9, one guy said in the video, but the videos I'm seeing are all the way back to, from 2006 to 2015. 2015 is the newest one I think I saw, because this is an old router. But I did see some new ones, but they didn't have any good information. But BA 15YZ, I think that's about the circuit board. Yeah, none of that looks like Samsung. So that one chip, one of the chips is a Samsung Z28. Let's see. I'll go ahead and read them off. I can't really show them. Where'd it go? Yeah. Oh, it wasn't a 28. It was a 20. Yeah, there it is. That one is a Samsung Z28 K4S641632K-UC75. I don't know if you've ever been able to read them or not, so I'll read them off. Samsung Z25 K8D1716UBC PI07 URE829E1 Broadcom. Oh, it's still dirty. I wiped it off with it earlier, but I didn't get it. That's all the dust off. Broadcom BCM 5354KFBG or CG, I think. CK0727P11 and then 828152R2A. Sometimes I can't do that to save my life, but my eyes seem a little bit clearer right now. Of course, I never know for sure. I close one eye, or else if I have both eyes open, I get letters and numbers swapped, so don't trust me on all that. 0727, that's these here. I don't know what those are. HN2064CG. They're both the same. And the caps. That one there is the funny one. I don't know what it is. I've learned a lot what a lot of things are. Like the Broadcom, I believe, is the actual processor for it. And I saw online that one of these others is probably the memory. Let's see. I don't know. One of them may. I'm not sure what the flash memory would be. The RAM, one of those is. You wouldn't think that if it was both RAM, well, they're not the same chip, so they wouldn't both be RAM. Looking them up would be the way to find out instead of just throwing out guesses. There's that other component. The one I was looking at from the side. It's got some letters I can't really tell what they are. Oh, they're that tells you what those things are. It's electronics symbol. But the numbers on it are 0727HN1265VG. I wonder if Dave has done a video on one of these routers. But this is where they would, it says ANT1 antenna. This is where they, on the other older models, or the other models, I think the older ones are, they would have soldered the connector down. It's kind of odd though, but that's, I believe, is where they would have soldered the connector down for the screw-on, on-off type antennas. I think I saw one in a take-apart video that was like that too. But these, they can, on a wire that goes up to here and up to here. So it's quite a bit different. But yeah, if you wanted to swap out to bigger, longer antennas or something, you'd have more work than just screwing something off and screwing something else on there. So yeah, I don't see anything that looks like it was soldered bad or, you know, came loose from in any way. So oh, let's look at the most obvious thing. I don't know if I ever bothered to do that. You look in here and make sure that one connector that's not working right. Yes, I did. I remember doing it now. Make sure it didn't just get bent somehow or get some crap in there or get shorted out. If it got shorted out, it could have damaged it anyway, but I can't really see with that one. I got a closer one. Yeah, there we go. I can see in there. They're not clean. They're dusty and everything, but they don't look like they've been bent or shorted. There's nothing in there that could short them, like a little hunk of, you never know, a little chunk of wire could get in there, you know. See if I can show those. I'm going to end up breaking my wires if I don't watch out. Guess I could stick it back in there. Well, that's not the section it goes into right now. Yeah, it won't stay in there anyway. Okay, so let's get to the, I think it's still best to do both instead of just one big shaky close-up. So if I can get the light, just turn it up pretty much all the way this time because it's dark in there. There. If I can get it to aim at it, it's just dust in there. That's the one that was giving the trouble. Let me lay it down and try. Let's flip it over this way and try it. I can't hold still good enough. There, now I can actually see it, but they look fine. So, either some of these discrete components are going out or have gone out and it's just not working right, or the firmware, which is what I'm hoping, you know, all the years of being powered on and powered off by unplugging it, because that's all you can do with it. It doesn't have a shutdown button on it. And no, none of them look corroded that I can see. Still look coppery. I think it'd be good to just kind of clean it a little bit. I wish I had a little bitty brush. But let's go back to normal now. I do have an eraser. It's not too bad of it. What did I just knock off? Knocked something off my desk. Eraser's not too bad of a thing to use for stuff like that. Oh, there's a little brush and I've got this old ink eraser with a brush on it. I'll just use the brush on it. All I really wanted was a brush anyway. If I rub it with the eraser, it'll kind of rub off in there, and then I'll have to be trying to clean those things out. Now let's see if I did any good. Alright. I think I knocked all the dust out at least. Yeah, it looks a lot less dusty, I believe. A little less dusty. Yeah. It's not. I'm going to look at that with my. I think the it almost looks like it could be corroded, but I think it's just. Yeah, it's just the coloring that it got. Yeah, this color. They're perfect. There's no corrosion on them or anything. Because that would definitely cause a problem with the connector. And the machine that it was plugged into is in the other room, and it's worked perfectly ever since I swapped routers. So it's it's not a cable problem. That's the first thing I thought of, but I think I decided it'd be easier to change routers and see what happened than change cables, because it goes through the wall into the other room and down behind the dresser up to that other computer. And I kept using it for a long time after that for the other 3 ports and the Wi-Fi. Other 3 wired ports never gave any trouble, but the Wi-Fi started acting up. That's the reason that I'm thinking it's either going out or hoping that the firmware has gotten damaged and I can just replace it. That it's gotten damaged from power ons and power offs and electricity in the house going on and off. That. I think maybe this thing is designed that you can just unplug it and plug it back in without a problem. Raspberry Pis, the little single board computers, they were designed like that, but they cannot handle it. It messes, lost the operating system at least 4 times on mine from just unplugging it the way you're supposed to turn it off. So anyway, if you shut it down with the software, it's fine. But if you just unplug it, it'll corrupt the software on the flash, on the little flash card. Let's see. Now, how do you get this back together? Okay, this one's feet go in the front, so this one's feet go in the back. Let's see, which one's the back? I have it all turned around because, let's see. Yeah, okay, this is the top of it, and that's the way that goes. So, yeah, here we go. Takes a little paying attention there. It's actually pretty simple and then kind of a nifty setup. Try not to stress those wires going to the antennas. Let's see. There we go. Right back in place. Okay, now I get my screws. Where's my little screwdriver at? This is my favorite one for starting screws. Let's see. That other one is not, the tip's not all that great on it. I do have it magnetized. Let's see, there we go. Be careful with that plastic, it'll get crooked so easy. And then strip it out. If it's hard to turn it in the plastic, then you probably got it crooked. Okay, I don't know what I did with the other screwdriver. I don't see it in my box. A lot of times when I'm using them, I'll lay them somewhere until I'm done, but besides in the toolbox. And I did, I guess, but now I don't know what I did with it. Oh, it's right here. It's in my chair with me. I knew something was going goofy about that. Okay, now let's see. Okay, this want to make sure you don't get those wires in the wrong place. They're still okay. I didn't mess them up. So this, yeah, they tend to want to go towards the edge. Okay, that goes like that. And the first thing I did was push that together and try to push it together, and I was like, oh, I'm pressing on the darn antennas. So try not to remember not to do that. Okay, now this goes on here like this. Now these little, let's see if I can figure out what it is that grabs. There's a holes there, a tab and a tab with holes in them. Inside of there, yeah, those tabs don't grab. Oh, they must go up in here. Let's lay that off to the side. Those tabs must go up in this area here. Move my finger in the right place, maybe you can see. On the other side of my finger. I'll get the wheel. Yeah, in between there. That's what I'm thinking. I don't see anything that like would go into those little bitty holes. See the little bitty hole? And that's the tabs I'm talking about. So, I don't know. But it definitely grabs, and it grabs good. So, let's let it grab. Let's put it back together. Let's see. But you don't see too many things that don't have at least, you know, a few screws on the case. But see, it wants to put you in a place where you're going to damage those. But you got to pay attention. I realized that the last time. These don't match up right. Once they do, it really doesn't take much to get them together. There you go. Seems like most of the snapping is right there, really. I don't think those tabs do any snapping. They do, I couldn't tell it. And then put your little warranty sticker back on there. Mine was a little bit wrinkled, so I think it must have been apart at least once before. And I don't remember ever doing it. I could. No. As weird as that is to take apart, I think I would have remembered that. So it was wrinkled, so I think maybe someone else had took it apart before. But it wouldn't have been, my sister gave it to me. She wouldn't have took it apart. And nobody in her family would. None of them would know how to do anything like that. So wouldn't have any interest in it. If something gets not working right, they buy another one, you know. So, but yeah, here's that, you mash that to reset the encryption key and connect. It can connect automatically with devices that are capable of doing that, you know. I guess since if the key was, and it is an, I don't know if it says it on here, but it's an, what is it, no, I always want to say SSH because I use that all the time, but it's a SSH, secure socket layer, SSL, secure socket layer. Now I'm confused. One's SSH and one's SSL. But anyway, in the routers, I think it's SSH2. Yeah, SSH2. And so now, what I want to do is try to flash it with a new firmware. Yeah, I just remembered I had that. Let me see. Go ahead and go to two cameras, camera 1 and 2. Now, I'm gonna grab my other camera. I keep them plugged in to keep them from going down while I'm on camera, but I mean, yeah, while I'm using them. So here's my other routers that are in use right now. There's my TP-Link, and oddly enough, that Linksys actually will go further out into the driveway really well. This one will just, you get out into the garage, that one will do better out there in the garage if you carry a phone or something out there, or a laptop. Then this TP-Link here will do this. This is my first router, the Netgear. It's pretty old now, and it'll get bogged down pretty quickly. The cache, there's a whole lot involved, and I don't even understand it all. I've read it a few times over the years, but basically I would call it the cache gets full. The RAM, the cache is stored in, I think, the RAM chips. I'm not sure. It's stored in them. It gets full, and the only way is to power them. Not just power them off and power them back on, but unplug them, and then they'll clean themselves out, and then power them back on, and they'll work again. But they'll just get to where they don't work. It's just so much more data going through them now, you know. And the way the packets are handled and all this stuff has everything to do with it. And, I think some of this new open firmware, and this is my TrendNet. I don't even use the wireless because it's such crap. It never worked right from day one. This is the worst router I ever had. Still works, but anyway, they all have to be rebooted all the time now. The TP-Link is only 2, maybe 3 years old now, but it has to be rebooted every three days or so now to keep them going. So this one's really, if it was just not failing physically, then it's not any worse than those. So see if I have the power supply over here somewhere. I don't remember what I did with it. I may have stuck it in here. I think I see it. Got a few things in here. I believe that's Linksys. Yes, it is. A few things in there. These are pretty handy little deals. The plastic forks and knives come in those things. Pretty handy little containers to hang on to. So, let me put this back up here. I don't think I'm going to need it. I guess I'm going to hurry up and aim it at myself, where I'm going to be on the chair. If I need it for anything else, I think I actually didn't do too bad. Okay, I'd aim it. If I need it again, I will I'll move it. So this little bad boy here, yeah, this is the Linksys power supply. Let's go ahead, and since we're up close on everything, let's up close on it. Let's go over here and do it, because that'll make me able to see what I'm showing. Oops. I'm going to flip it because it'll be easier. That's too hot, so can't grab it by the... Well, that's too weird. Sorry. This is pretty hard to fight, this cable. Okay, so that's the actual, you know, factory power supply. And what's it got? Output 12 volts. It's 0.5, half an amp. It says half an amp. I thought it was going to be milliamps. I believe this says can only get so small of a thing with this, but you can cheat. Yep, 0.5 amps, so that's I believe that would be 500 milliamps. The center is positive, and so that you can pretty much say the tip is positive, the ring is negative. And you got to pay attention, some of these are not actually DC voltage, so output 12 volts. I'm going to assume it is DC though. Well, I mean, I'm not going to use a different power supply, but if you're replacing power supplies, some electronics actually don't use DC power supplies. Okay, now that was working pretty good, so now I'm curious, what happens if I get my closer one and use it? Does it work any better? Just a little bit. Input, output, 12 volt. I was trying to see if that little signal right next to the voltage is something that indicates whether it's, I can't see it to tell. Oh, yeah, it's a straight line and dotted lines. Straight line on top, dotted lines underneath, which I don't remember. But I think this is DC. That would tell you though. I'd like it better when it just says AC or DC. So, anyway. This is the connector, standard barrel connector. There. And I haven't had any problem with the power supply so far. So, that's good. So now I want to get to Cam 2, I think. So I'll just go ahead and, usually I plug this in somewhere and then plug it into the unit when I'm ready to get it going. So that's probably what I will do. Yeah, because where I'm plugging it in is going to be hot already. I've got a power strip down here that's just right for that. I mean, I use it for my laptop and any other thing I'll need to during the day. Yeah, and that's what I think I'm going to have to do. Turn on here. I tried to think of it. See, all the software I want is really on this machine that I'm streaming from, or have an older, this Fedora 23 here. And let me go to the desktop. Let's see. Fedora 23. And I'm not planning on doing TFTP, but if I was going to have to use any Windows software or anything, I may have to use TFTP. Anyway, I have PuTTY. Let's open that up. I think it'll do raw, telnet, rlogin, SSH, and serial. So it'll do serial connection. But one of the several of the videos I saw were using PuTTY, and they were doing it in Windows, but PuTTY runs in Linux too. So I already have that here on this machine, the newest version. My old Fedora 14 system has got an older version, but I imagine it would work. But anyway, you'd connect to it and open up a terminal. I think you may have to look at the instructions again. There's no point in plugging it up or anything till I kind of look at the instructions again. Oh, I need to plug it up. No, I do need to plug it up. I need to see what, let's see, upgrade guides. Okay, yeah, if you have VxWorks, the first thing I need to know for sure, beyond doubt, is, I'll open this up. And I'm not going to try to read it out loud word for word, but okay, version 5 or 6. I don't think this one goes to version 8. So I may actually have downloaded the wrong one. Because I was looking at this earlier. Oh, I've got it on highlight all. Well, let's just go through there that way. It only says version 5 and 6. I never did find 8 in here. So I'm V8 now. Whether I'm V8.0 or 0, 0, 1, or 2, that's what I need to know for sure. I actually saw something on my old machine that looked like it might. See, there's a Windows TFTP program that I could use, and I have a Windows XP virtual machine on this machine that I could use if I needed to, but that might get complicated because it's got another subnet. That's how it connects to this machine, is through a subnet, a virtual network. So I don't know how complicated that would end up being. I don't think I would try that. So I'll probably boot up my laptop. It has some I think it has Fedora 25 on it now. Can't remember what I did with it yet. Let's see what this one says. Oh, this is the story about law school professor Ibn Mogan. Oh, sued them to get them to release their Linux source code. I don't remember saying that. The other thing I read online today just didn't say anything about suing them. But anyway, there's the first story of. See, different ones have different amounts of. Where's the CPU speed, RAM, and flash? So see the very first one, 125 megahertz, 60 megabyte. See, there's one that has 16 and 4, and then they went backwards again. So this is an older version. So I think everything I have here, I had it in a folder. Oh, this site I tried to go to it, and it WRTrouters.com. I couldn't get to it. Let's try that one more time. Can I copy that? Not from here. WRTrouters.com. Let's see if I can. I think the site's gone or something. Yeah, see, it didn't come up. It just came up with everything else, but not WRT routers. Now, DD-WRT is what I'm planning on using, I think. But am I on desktop? Yes, okay. So what I'm thinking I'm going to use, or I thought I was going to use it because I already had it downloaded, but I mean, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to look at my dashboard too to make sure I'm not having any trouble with my live feed here. Yeah, I've been going a long time now. I figured that. Because that would definitely cause I can hear it and everything, but it's way behind. Well, it would be a bit behind. Okay, now it's caught up to where I'm at. Okay, so it's working fine. The page doesn't work so great in Firefox. Oh, I saw that on several videos. They said when you do this process, they said, this was old though, and they said only you had to use Internet Explorer, that Firefox would crash it and not work. But this is 2017, so it's been changed a lot. So I used to have trouble with different things that they fixed. Let's see, where do I have that? Routers general info. I should have a DD-WRT. I won't try to change that right now. Well, it says there's two of them though, so it's probably in. I know I have a DD-WRT folder somewhere. Okay, so yeah. See, I did some sort of search, but it's been so long ago. I don't know if I did it right. But it says I have version 8.0. But that I saved the results page, as a HTML file is what this is. So I would like to do that again, but WRTrouters.com, I can't find that page. So, I mean, if you search for WRTrouters.com and you don't find it, the site's probably not there anymore. So DD-WRT would be the next best thing, I think. And you see, I had been saving links to that. But you can search for your router. I didn't do that today yet, so where's my little... I saved an email to my... Yeah, the one with all my model number and all that. Now, what I do have off the router is that right there. And router database is probably where I want to go. Let's see. Maybe this pic. Yeah, please enter at least 3 characters of a router's name. I think that'll... very good. Okay, now. Well, they're all supported. I just got... Okay. Oh, there's just a plain B8, and that's what I got. I don't have V8.0 or 1 or 2. I have, oh, that's LA. Mine's not an LA. So it must be this one here. Supported by V24SP Beta build 13006. Okay. There's the TFTP execute, so they provide that, so you can do it. I might have to do it on a Windows machine. I might have to go. I got an old Dell laptop with XP on it, and I've been having to use it to fax some stuff, and it's running so terrible. And I worked on it a bunch too to try to. Well, I actually upgraded it to XP SP3, and then it got even slower. So, but this is. That's router's general info. Okay. That says V8.2 right there. Let's just not do that yet. I just realized that says V8.2. See, 8 megabyte RAM, 2 megabyte of flash. So that you can't have a very big firmware on there if you've only got 2 megabyte. What happened? I was trying to go back to my, there's the search page. Okay, now. I clicked on that one. But mine is not a -LA, okay. Chipset, okay. I have that in my video, but I can't review that right now. And I got that thing, dang it. I had that open. I didn't think about that. I should have, because I knew. It's the best way to identify it, is to, yeah, I wish I knew what that was right now. I might be able to go back in live video and find it or something. It'd take forever, but BCM5, I should have wrote that down or something, or took, oh, I took pictures of that. Where is that? I did that the first time I had it apart. I don't know if they're readable. I didn't even look at them, but I did them on the phone, so they should have went to Google Photos by now. No, they did not. So they're still in phone number 1. Well, looking at that chipset's going to be the way to find out. And I can grab that phone and do that. Okay. So let me get the phone. And so I can't really show what I'm doing because I'm going to be doing it on the phone. Actually, I think I'm going to have to get out of the, let's see. Yeah, I think that took me out of my, the broadcasting of the, that's okay. How can I do this? Oh, okay. What I'm going to do is this real cool program. I won't try to show all of this right now because, again, the camera's only sitting there on the router, so it won't be doing me any good. It's called SSH Droid, and you just open the program up, it starts serving up an SSH server of your phone, and you just got to look on there and see where its IP address is. 10. And, okay. I'm real bad about forgetting what I'm showing, so I keep checking over and over again. Now, I've got this SSH server running on my phone, and next time when I use the camera, I'll just have to start it back up again. And I've been there enough times that I've got it in my favorites, and then you just have to log in. And you can SFTP into your phone. Let's see, do that like that. DCM. See, I'm going to do it by newest on top. Now this is them. Let's see. I'm going to make a folder. copy that. Make a directory. Whoops. I'm trying to hit Control V and I keep just hitting V. I don't know if they're all going to be the inside of the router, but if they're not, I'll I don't know why those didn't go ahead. Well, I had the phone off. I turned it off right after I got those pictures taken, then turned it back on when it actually might not be doing it because it knows it's working hard, streaming and all that too. I don't know, but anyway. But I didn't have it running the whole time. Okay, so here's the pictures. Let's see, how do you make it? There we go. So, yeah, I took those pictures and then put it back together. And it was before I even dusted it. See how you can see how curved the bottom of the deal is? The case. Yeah, there's the tag. That came out good. WRT54G V8. That's good. You can see that really well. I used the macro and tried to hold still. I wasn't sure if I was holding still. That one's crooked, but that's all right. Okay, there's that board. Now, where's my chip? I don't think none of those probably came out from the looks of that. I hadn't even wiped it off yet. There's the Broadcom chip. Down there. I can always flip the picture if it looked like I could read it, but see if there's any. I don't guess I took any individual pictures of it. That was the closest one. Doesn't really look like I could. There, now it's right set up. Let's get out of that. I can zoom in more. I'm going to hit save on that. Nope, cannot see those numbers to save your life. You can't even tell that it's Broadcom, really. Yeah, it's just not that. Well, it was pretty dirty, too. But you can see those other chips. Those are those symbols I was talking about. You might know what those are. But, no. I've never tried that before. It wouldn't hurt anything, would it? To go back and review my own video while I'm making a video? I don't know what kind of weirdness it might do to the... Now, should I go to my live stream deal, or should I go to... No, I'll go to my... Of course, it won't be on my uploads, but if I go to my channel, that's my link to my uploads. Now, if I just go to my channel, so you won't be able to watch it from there, but if I go to my channel, you should be able to somehow. I don't know how you get there, really, from here. View channel. It's live, so I think I will be able to go backwards in it. You can't go forward, but you can, yeah, here it is. So I might be able to go backwards in it. Or no, you can't when it's live, can you? Nope. You can see it's live, you see what's happening now, and that's it. And nobody said anything. That's the other thing why I checked back in. Okay, so I don't want to pop that thing back apart. I could. I really guess I have to before I can. I'll go ahead and get that SSH turned off, get that phone plugged back in. That wasn't. I'll leave those pictures in there until they get uploaded to Google Photos. I like them to be backed up and all that stuff. Okay. Now, yeah, grab this phone, get it out of that, Get it out of SSH mode and get it back into camera mode. Oh, the camera's still on. I never did get it turned off. Okay, well, then I better plug it in so it won't be running the battery down. Well, I at least want to see, you know, I might find out some of that. I won't find out the chip, but I might find out my information I'm wanting to know from the software. Because I know there's more information in the software page. So, yeah, I'll plug it in, I guess, to the laptop, because I can control how I can turn the Wi-Fi on or off. And I can be only connected, you know, directly to the router that way. So, let me see. Yeah. Okay, so what I will do, I'm going to get up here and get my... I had it plugged into my Netgear router thinking I was going to use my old Fedora 14 system to do all this, but no, I'd forgotten. You have to go straight from the computer to the router that you're going to, you know, flash, and I'm not, so I don't need it into another router. And you don't want it into another router because you don't want to mess up the other router by accident. So, I'm going to plug it into, yeah, that's port 1. You don't need WAN. The WAN, wide area network, that is for the internet. It wouldn't matter which one, except for you don't want it in the bad one, of course. And I'm going to go ahead and plug it, turn it on, and since it should be working normally, I think I'll bring that cable around the front. I'm afraid it'll get hung on that and cause me trouble yanking on stuff. So now, and then the other end, where's it at? Oh, here it is. The other one was already up on the table waiting to be used. What I'll do is take out the one that I have in there for the going into the to get it on the internet. It actually has wireless and wired. So now it'll be wired straight to the Linksys and wireless to the internet if I need it, and I can turn that off so that I don't accidentally screw up one of the other routers if I do start flashing it or anything. Now, okay, so I can get into that, and let me get this other camera down and see what I can do about. Let's see. See what I was going to see what I can do about. Well, I better leave it so I can see where I'm aiming it. I was going to say I'll stop yanking it around and everything. The cable is really giving me fits because of the way I have things. A power cable, I don't think it'll reach is the thing. I don't think I have a good place to set it. There. Now I can see it. You can see it, but not good. But if I turn it more, can't turn it too much further, it'll fall off of there. See if that'll work. I have a wireless keyboard I can use and a wireless mouse, which is already plugged into it. So, yeah, it's going to be, with my camera thing there, it's really, a tripod sitting here on my keyboard tray, it's going to be a problem. Let's see, but I think that's about the best I can do. Let's get it booted up. And let's see, yeah. Oh, I've got the Bane on there. That's right, because the Fedora 25, I put it on there and it couldn't really handle it. It's a dual core with 3 gig of RAM, but it's only a dual core. Just couldn't really handle it, so I decided I want it to run good, you know. So I don't have any of my new tools on there or anything. And Putty, you can install it really quick and easy, but yeah, that was kind of why. I can still use that desktop, my old desktop. See, but then there's no way to see it. Well, I can use, I have a 4-port KVM switch. Oops. It's not working. Oh, I turned the keyboard off. It was already on. Guess is what happened. Okay. I don't remember its password though. I don't know if this is gonna be so great. I may not have the tools I need. I didn't turn it on before because I thought I remembered. I thought I remembered what was on it. But I didn't. So I can't type with this thing in the way. I can't get my hands on the. I'm used to using my fingers on the home keys of the keyboard. That's how I know where I'm at. Sometimes I can even type without looking, but not very much anymore. I got to where I could do it fairly well over the years. See, I learned to type the old-fashioned way on an Underwood mechanical typewriter in 7th grade in typing class. And it really, I didn't use it. I didn't write. I didn't type for my work or for fun until, well, I started doing it a little bit in about 1990 or 91 when I first got to get on the computer and get on the internet. And there wasn't anything on the internet then that was interesting to me. And then in 98, it was really big, and big by then. And I got America Online, and we got a new computer, and been hooked ever since. So I was already like 40 something when I started typing, but it certainly did help. And it came back to me from the 7th grade all the way up. Okay, so this thing, I'm just going to leave it like that, where you can see the router and the laptop. And you won't be able to read it necessarily, but I wish. Let me see. There might be a better way to do this. I just realized I'm not actually using the keyboard, my main keyboard right at this minute. So, yeah, that's a lot more straight on, so. I wonder if I might be able to get this keyboard for the wireless keyboard wedged in there. Yeah, I think I can. So that I can actually type like I was talking about, like a human being. Okay, let's see, yeah. Now, I'm not going to do a lot of typing on the other one right now anyway, so. Maybe this will work. Okay, didn't I hit the Firefox to open it up or not? That's what I had meant to do. I think I did, and it's just taking forever to open up. Now it'll try to open up 3 times. That's not, for some reason everything's got out of space shape there. There it is. Yeah, it says it's already running, so it won't open up 3 times. That's good. I should still be on the internet though. Let's check our internet connection. Connection information. We have, well, 192.168.100, 100 megabits, but that's going nowhere. That's the wired. But the Wi-Fi should be working. 0.107 hasn't come in yet, but it says it's good, 54 megabits. I did mess around with that Wi-Fi switch earlier. It was off, but I was trying to see what it would do, you know, and I couldn't remember. I never can remember which way. The switch right here on the side. Can't see where my hand is, can you? But it's down there. That's before I mess things up. It's looking like it's not getting on the Wi-Fi though. So I think I'll disable Wi-Fi and then enable it and see if that fixes it. You are now connected. Yeah, that should be good. So I did. So I messed it up somehow. It says it's connected. Huh. I didn't switch that switch again because I don't want to mess it up if it's actually okay. Well, something's not working right. I guess I should turn it to where I can see it. Let's see what the light does. Now I'll flip it the other way and see if that's, should turn it, that probably turned it off. It still shows to be connected. Okay. So the software here doesn't seem to be, okay, it's disconnected. So I think the switch is, I did know how the switch went. Okay. I would flip the camera down there, but I think most people are more familiar with that sort of thing than me. I get that stuff on and I leave it alone. I don't like to mess with it because then, okay, it's connected. I like to mess with it because then it's not working when I want it to, and it aggravates me. It still says disconnect. Oh, it says disconnect. Oh, Wi-Fi networks. Okay. Well, it's definitely not getting on any internet or anything. Could be some other problem though. Sometimes the Wi-Fi doesn't work right and I have to reboot my router. It's the TP-Link, the newest one that I'm using. So I'm going to flip it back the other way and see if that's... Once I get it on, I generally leave it alone, and that's also why I don't remember. But it says it's connected, but it even says it has an IPv6 address besides the IPv4. Speed unknown. Okay. So maybe that means it's not connected anymore. Okay, now I'm going to flip it back the other way, the way I think that turns it on. I'll push it down here. Well, you can't see it. That's where I'm messing with it at. And there's a little light, whoops, that came on when I did this before. Don't see it now. When it was off and I would move that switch, that light would come on. There's a little light, blue light beside it. You know what? I think there was a light up on the... Okay, let's turn this back to normal. I'm going to show the screen again. Well, now I'm aggravated. I think I'm just sidetracking on something that's not that important anyway, because I really... Speed unknown. I'm going to close that. Reload that. Okay, that. Oh, no, yeah, there's no Wi-Fi showing up now that I closed that display, so I guess you got to close it and open it back up. That connection information. So maybe if I disconnect the Wi-Fi again, usually with the wired, if you have any trouble, just disconnect it and reconnect it, and that's all there is to fixing it. Okay, it says you're now connected. Okay, give it a minute there. I don't think that try again button will work. And you usually have to, if it's trying to connect and can't, then I got a feeling my main router may not be working right. Okay, it has Wi-Fi connection again, 54 megabits, so that's good. I don't know why it's not going anywhere though. It could be that this is throwing it off, but this don't worry about it right now. Let's just what I want to do is go to that router. Could be that it shouldn't. I do it all the time. I have them connected to 2 different routers all the time. Let's try my website, but that shouldn't. Actually, that's not what I really want. Oh, let's close the browser and open it back up. Sometimes that'll help when you get hung up like that. Didn't that time, I don't think. Usually it's pretty quick at starting to bring in the pages. I would kill my live stream if I had to reboot my router. So if I did need to do that, let me look at my live stream again and make sure it's not messed up. If it's working, then I know that part's okay. Yeah, that's okay. I think I'm going to have a cough drop down. So, let's go back to 1 and 2 like I was. Get me a cough drop. Okay, I'm not going to worry about whether or not that laptop's on the internet. If I was going to download the bin files, I'll probably just do them on the desktop and then put them on a USB drive or something, flash drive, and move them over there. I used to do everything on the network, but I kind of got away from it a little bit the last couple of years. It got harder to set up. Used to could do it all in the GUI, and now it doesn't come all ready to go with Fedora. And then I got kind of more worried about the, security aspects of it too. .192.168.0.1. This one's going to be 1.1. There it is. I don't remember its password. Let's see. Well, I do remember that it's admin. You don't actually, in this router, you don't even have to type in the user, which is pretty sucky. I don't remember my password, so I'll have to get that out. Normally I shut my keyboard tray to get to things, and I can't do that with all this stuff sitting on it. What do I want? Linksys. Okay. Okay. Don't save that. That was it. Okay. Okay, so this is the standard firmware, and I was actually thinking, I remember I had all kinds of little cables. I know I had some serial cables. I don't think I had any with any headers on that I could plug into that board though, because what I would like to do is back up this factory firmware before I, oh, here we go, firmware version, can't see it on that camera, firmware version V8.0.0.8. So what is that one? Okay, let's go look on the, I didn't have to go any further than right there to see that. I think that's the status page. See if I can do a screenshot of that page. There we go. I think I'm on the status page. Okay, there's even more detail. It's, I must have upgraded it at one point because it's V8.0.0.8 build 001 October 5th 2009. There's the MAC address they were talking about, that the SSH keys with the auto-generated passwords, but I don't use that. I make up my own passwords, so that's one thing that I think is a little better for me. So, you know, I mean, you can see, like I said, if this was the one, my router that was facing the internet, then you'd be able to see that anyway. But okay, so that's one thing I need to know. But that Broadcom chip, in order to go that deep into it, then I'm going to have to open that thing back up again, which may be what I need to do. It's telling you the chipset, BCM5354. BCM's for Broadcom, I know that. So that's how come I recognize that. And you can do this drop down. There's two builds, beta 13064 and 14069. Beta's pretty new, but these days I think that'd probably be better than getting anything older with all the, you know, the new cracks and hacks and cracks. But let's see what these are. Updater, VxWorks Killer. Yeah, I saw that on the videos. This one is a V8. Oh, okay. So I guess any version of V8. I've got V8.0.0.8. So I mean desktop. Okay. Any version of V8 or version 2. That's what these would be for. And where was that thing I saw that told me how much memory I was supposed to have and everything? I guess that was might have been that one. Here's the one. It says Eben Mogen's. Oh, it says sued them, and they released it without a fight. I just didn't notice it said sued. So this only goes up to V6 right here. That's whatever page this is. But this is stuff I saved in the past. That was 11/15/11. So see, I've had the router at least that longer than the 2011. I started researching it. I was wanting to do it right away, but I never did want to take it offline. That was my main router, and see, I run my web server, and so if I take that router down, then even if I have another router, it also messes up my web server. Because, well, once I got my TP-Link, I was like, okay, now I can do the the Linksys, but it turned out this my server. It's an IBM single core machine that I use from a server. There's something weird about its NIC card, its network card. It won't. It won't. You can set it up. The TBM will happily let you set it up, but it won't work, and you can't get to it from the internet. It says it's set up, but it won't work. And then when I plug it back into the Linksys, it would work. And then I figured out the older routers it'll work with, but not that newer one. So I don't know why. I never did figure that out. So I have that's how come I'm using those older routers that I had actually retired and quit using for more ports and also to make my server work. Let's see. One says Linksys V8. Okay, that's just I saved one of the Linksys pages. Let's see if that downloads link will work. Oh, that part worked. Let's see. Ah, so mine's 8.0. Okay, so it's going to be the version 8. Okay. Now what? Oh, firmware. That didn't take me to a new page yet. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Yeah. There's some, whenever you save pages like that, the whole thing, you'll get a folder with a bunch of the attached stuff to it. But, I don't know what would be quick. It's sometimes hard to get to the, back to these pages again, you know. Firmware. Oh, those are instructions. Firmware. File not found. Yeah, it's not file because I'm still on. It's still saying file instead of HTTP. I'm still on my local machine there. So I need to get off of this. I don't think that the this old router is still supported as a thing. I am, but no, that's charter. Crap. I was using I may have to change it back. I also had my router set up to use a different DNS server, and I didn't get, and whenever something didn't go right, I didn't end up with this stupid charter Spectrum search page crap intervening on my surfing and everything. I would just get the normal page not found or whatever. It's confusing when that kind of crap happens. Okay. Let's look for firmware. Well, I'll say download. No, do firmware. Let's see, maybe they do have it. Put that in the links. It is the Linksys.com site. There we go. Okay. Okay. Before I had tried one time and I didn't think I was able to find it. Where is it though? Maybe I was right. Yeah, there's nothing in the list. So that's why I was saying I would, if I could easily hook up a JTAG connector and a serial cable to that thing. If I had some adapters and stuff, I don't quite know where they are. I never had any use for them. I came with stuff, you know, I got them somehow. I kept them, but it could be in the garage, the top of the closet. But you know, if I could, what if I just had one that I could just plug in there? And most people soldered them in, but you know, if you could get it to the male end to plug in there just well enough to stay, you wouldn't really have to solder it in there. You could leave it. I mean, do your work and then take it back out, that's what I'm saying. Use it again on another router. Because if I do my TP link and I messed it up, then I'd need that thing again. Because they're a standard amount of pins, those JTAG connectors, the serial to JTAG connectors. So, there, yeah, I don't see any. I see a license agreement. But the words download and then that's it. Register the product. And that's it. Try one more time searching on their site. Now, I did do a search on here before. Well, let's try it without the Linksys in there. I don't think that would matter, but sometimes it does. Because, yeah, it makes some difference. Because, see, now you actually found one. A used one that they're selling. I saw that on my other machine. There's another one. Refurbished. It says get support there. Oh, documents. Okay, now here's, I did not see a plain WRT54G. There it is. Yeah, that's the only one. Okay, so maybe they do have something for it. Ah, just a matter of figuring out how to find it, maybe. Okay, 8.0. Yep. Let's go to 8.0. What happened? No firmware driver download available. Okay, just like I thought. So I had already done all this before. So if I broke it, I wouldn't have the original firmware available, is what I was saying. So I don't know if it's worth that. It's not kind of not worth that much trouble, I don't think. Actually, I've seen several videos on even if you do semi-brick it, as long as it's still trying to boot, you can use the JTAG and serial cables and fix it. But sometimes the way some of them fixed it was to go back and put the original firmware on them too. Okay, so according to this, the version 8, I would still like to know about that chip. I'm probably going to have to take a break here in a little bit, so maybe what I'll do is take a break, look back through my video. I read those chip numbers off, and then like write them down or something. Come back to this page. So this is 8 megabyte of RAM and 2 megabyte of flash, and that's where you end up bricking them, I found out, which I kind of already figured that out ahead of time earlier. Well, I read it over the years. Try to put firmware that's bigger than 2 megabytes or not sufficiently under 2 megabytes. It ain't going to fit. It's not going to all get written, so guess what? You broke it. So, and some of them you have to, well, I think if I remember right, I've been reading back and forth, but if I remember right, this has that VMworks, I think is what they call it, or something. I hit the wrong control key. I was trying to open it up in another. I just saw that best V8 firmware. Oh, it's forum post. This is in 08, so that's not going to be there anymore. How did I just switch gears like that off from what I was saying? Some of them you have to use the VxWorks killer first. Yeah, VxWorks, that's what it's called, not VMworks, is that what I said? VMworks is for servers, virtual machine works. But anyway, I think you have to do VxWorks killer, and then Oh, there's a revert. Oh, okay. So I think you do VX. I have to get the instructions though and follow them. XWorks killer, and then CFE updater. Then one of these DD-WRT micro generic. WRT V24 micro. Oh, I don't know what OLS or D generic is. I'm going to put that in Linksys instead of general router info. Okay, yeah, you want to go to the wiki and the user forum. It's the instructions are often, it depends on which brand of open firmware you're using. This is actually the only one left I think that'll work on this router, or that looks like it'll safely work on it. Easily, or maybe work on it. So, what am I going to say? So I think it's the one to use. And yeah, I was looking at the wiki earlier. I think this is, well, it's not the same one I was looking at. Yeah, there, DD-WRT router setup, how to. I knew I had a folder for all that. Go straight to the install how to page. This is not the same one I was looking at. It's easy, but if you mess it up, you'll brick it. Using the right firmware. That's what I just did. I went to the database and did the search. But it is listed, so that's good. Avoid bricking. I'm going to have to go through that some more before I really try to do it. Don't just load V24 final or SP1. It says read the announcements. Things change as they go to, especially when they come out with, like, these are betas, so it says SP2 beta, and I don't know what the difference is in that one. Okay, let's see. Reassembling killers. Doesn't look all that different, but they are new, and I'm glad of that. Yeah, 1,069 megabytes. This is the one that came up when I did my search. 1,068 megabytes. So I really don't know. I'd have to read around. That looks like the newer one, 1489, but it's probably. But they're both betas, so I don't know. But yeah, that's the one I want to do because it's the default one that came up from my search. Let's see, V7.2, V8.0, and V8.2. Okay. What I want to do, well, if I can make this work good again, that'd be great, and I'll start using it along instead of one of, like, say, that old Netgear router that I showed earlier. But even if I can't, I can practice on this one before I do my main router, my TP-Link. So I've read that Peacock thread and downloaded it. It's hardware. It's called it. They call it the Peacock page now, but they used to call it the Peacock thread. It's a forum thread is what it was. I don't know what it is now. Go there, page. I think I'll go ahead and open it right now. And sometimes that chip is on some other brands of routers, and it'll work on them. I remember that. Now that's the one that says mine. Linksys, my model number. Oh, okay, my model number. I haven't put that in a place yet. Yeah, okay, so. Yeah, let me go take a break, and guess I'll just leave the laptop and everything running like it is. Let's see. Yeah, mine. See, that's all I get off the stickers. If you could look them up by the serial, I guess the serial numbers wouldn't be able to do that, but I'll have to go back through this again. I got fairly good. See, there's lots and lots of information. If I could just remember what I've already poured over, then you see, Cisco, Linksys Wireless AC, Linksys wired. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. That's that V8O and V8-2. Okay. There. Only go to the computer and the power. See, that's what I want to do, and I'll disconnect my wireless network to make sure I can't cause any trouble. For some reason, it's not even working anyway. Actually, when I stop my stream, I can reboot my router. I think that's all I need to do. I'll just go reboot all my routers, and it should fix that. I think that the Wi-Fi got tired again. The cache got full again, I guess, on the router. So I can guess. I haven't even been using Wi-Fi though tonight. And I did reboot it before I started too. But sometimes it just whacks out. There may be another new problem. The bandwidths are so crammed full of so much wireless devices these days. Because I know on my phone I have a Wi-Fi finder. Well, no, it's not the Wi-Fi finder app. It's an app that'll show you all the signals that your phone can see, and it's just I was having trouble a long time back last year, and I kept using that app, and I changed my channels on my routers, and at first I kept changing the channels between the, I'd kind of just try to separate the channels between the Linksys and my TP-Link, and finally I realized that Linksys was just knocking out the TP-Link signal, knocking the TP-Link signal down, making it weak. The TP-Link signal got twice as strong once I turned off the Linksys. And they were right here. I actually had the Linksys sitting on top of the TP-Link, but it actually got worse when I moved it. I tried moving it, and it got worse. So that was kind of odd. But you can just sit there and watch the signals kind of getting stronger and weaker. And so I tried to put my router as far away from everyone else's routers as I could. Of course, they may change their channels. They may be auto-changing, And and the other thing is all the new high-powered wireless devices, the commercial devices. There are more and more of those being installed. There's some new systems. I forgot the name of them now. I won't try to go into all that. But I'm really worried that they're going to knock out home Wi-Fi left and right, and you're going to be stuck either just using wired or paying them a subscription service to use wireless internet. And that will really suck. But they're just going to, I'm afraid they're just going to walk, because they're so close in frequency, I'm afraid they're going to walk all over all our home Wi-Fis everywhere when they get that stuff installed. And so I don't know. We'll see what happens. But the old wireless mic. I used to do sound for bands, and all the wireless microphone frequencies. That's what they're using. They took them away from wireless microphones, and they're using them for all IoT, Internet of Things, IoT, and some of the high-powered Wi-Fi stuff that they're installing. So, and all that's going to be proprietary, and you got to pay to use it. And the thing is that I'm afraid it's going to completely walk all over all of our home Wi-Fi stuff. Okay. Used to be called, I hate talking about things and then not. Forgot what to hit. Trying to open up my trying to open up my bookmarks on my other computer, the one on the computer I'm on. Oh, I did 100 times, didn't I? They just didn't come up. Okay, yeah, one of them's called AT&T Project Air Gig, and it is license-free spectrum. This is where they're going to be working, in the license-free spectrum. So, and that it used to be most all of your wireless mics, the ones that aren't working anymore as of this year. Actually, it's actually illegal to use those frequencies now. They sold them to all these big companies like AT&T and everybody. They just bought them up in swatches, and now they're putting in all these. That's what the AT&T calls theirs air gig. And so yeah, look into all that. Things are really going to change in our wireless world, and I'm really worried as to. I'm just now really beginning to start depending on wireless. I still don't use wireless on my desktops, but I have these little phones. I use it to make my videos. I'm using it right now, and I'm using it more and more. But and it's also used to didn't have any trouble with your neighbors competing with you for airspace, but boy, there's all kinds of competition now, and that will only get worse. So let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that little break I was talking about. So I will go ahead and let's see. I have to go back to let's go back on the desktop. Getting on the cameras, but yeah, I'm just going to leave the laptop running there, and I may turn my camera streamers off. See, these are streaming over the Wi-Fi, so is my audio coming from another camera phone 1. Where's that? It's delayed. Is it not frozen? There, my finger. Boy, my delay is bad. I don't think what I did helped. I think I made it worse. But let's see. I'm going to put my hand up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, yeah, it's somewhere around 7 seconds before you saw it. Before the camera saw it. So yeah, and so if I'll turn off the stream and maybe even shut the camera down for a little while, maybe it'll get a little better. I had a delay set in the audio to try to make up for that, but I had decided the other day that I think did it the wrong way. It's making it worse, or it didn't need it anymore because maybe the OBS Studio had had fixed that problem, but of course they can't fix. I see the way I'm doing it over Wi-Fi, so my delay is wireless delay, So anyway, and that's independent of OBS Studio is what I'm trying to say. But they do give you a way to make up for problems like that. But it also happens in my wired mic too. Actually, just as bad. Actually, sometimes it's worse in the wired mic, which I'm not even using it tonight, but my SM58. But anyway, okay. Oh, I didn't know. This ain't tonight anymore. It's 5 a.m. I wonder I'm getting tired. Okay, well, I got to take a break, and then, heck, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. We'll see. I don't even know if I'm going to come back this morning. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm too tired to continue. You definitely don't want to do something tricky when you're so tired you don't know what you're doing. So, yeah, I am getting tired. I can tell. I'm really getting tired. I just now realize it. I just took a cough drop a while ago, or else I wouldn't even be able to talk anymore. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here. I had forgotten how to get out. Yeah, I got to make sure I'm getting the right firmware. The one I have downloaded, I already see that I don't want to use that one. But I think the one I saw on the website, there's a new one there, and that's the one I want. So I'm not even sure if the one I have downloaded was the right one to start with. So anyway, I'm going to go, and I will, after my break, I will see whether or not I actually want to come back to this morning and all that. And anyway, next time I get back on this, I'll try to go, make another video of it. Okay, that's done. Bye-bye.